was given every chance.
A legacy so rich, the Lexus Melbourne Cup, the People's Cup, a symbol bearing witness and listening to the collective roar across generations as it's vaulted characters into this world. The barbecues, the call, the sweep, the track, the study, the heartbeat of Australia. The race that stops a nation. The race that captivates the world. This handicap of 2 miles on the first Tuesday in November, a true race of the turf. Pick a winner, they say. Many may have won, but only few have been victorious. A true international championship, rich and diverse, revered, admired, glorified around the globe. Its story is one of anticipation and the culmination of what it takes to just get a start.
Ask anybody why the Melbourne Cup is so special, and you'll rarely find one single answer. It's a tradition that embodies the Australian spirit. A 2-mile handicap where anything is possible. For over 160 years, the Cup has endured. Dedication, heart, and true Aussie grit has captured the imagination of generations.
The Melbourne Cup, the race that stops the nation.
At 3 o'clock on the first Tuesday in November, time stands still.
And they're up. And they're racing in the Melbourne Cup.
Nation roars for a hero. She's starting to wind up.
Arnab is increasing his lead.
Gateway will make the Lord.
What a finish to the Melbourne Cup.
The champion becomes a legend.
Michelle Payne has created history. Rekindling.
Saintly wins it easily.
Mighty Towers won it. What a win in a cup we'll never forget.
It's a day that transcends sport and unites people from all walks of life. Once Australian racing's window to the world, it's the spectacle worth travelling for.
The champion from the land of the rising sun.
International raiders come for the prize, the prestige, and they're attracted to that Aussie spirit, the fair go.
Vintage Crop, the Irish horse will win the Melbourne Cup.
Beneath the glamour of Flemington, this is a story of the unbreakable bond between these beautiful animals and those connected to them. Today, the world comes together to celebrate the best of who we are. This is the Lexus Melbourne Cup. This enduring, inspiring, beautiful thing.
Francesca Camani setting the scene beautifully, and what a beautiful scene it is for the 2024 Lexus Melbourne Cup here at Flemington. The most picture-perfect day you could ask for the running of the 164th Cup. 23 horses set to take to the track in just moments, but only one comes away as the winner of the latest instalment of this great race over 3,200 metres. One story will have another epic chapter written. So it's which story today gets that chapter? Will it be Vauban making amends after disappointing as the favourite in 2023? Will Buckaroo manage to stay and go the trip and finish in front? What about James Cummings? Can he emulate his great-grandfather Bart with a winner here on Cup Day? Mark Zara, 3 winners in a row on 3 different horses. Could that be so? Kerrin McEvoy, a 4th Melbourne Cup? That's a possibility. And a record 4 female jockeys out there putting on a show today as they look to trail in the footsteps of the legendary Michelle Payne. As we count down to kick off in the Lexus Melbourne Cup, what a privilege it is to be standing alongside Michelle and one of the men in form in the world of horse racing right now, another Melbourne Cup winner in James McDonald. You two, this is grand final day. I know you probably get itchy feet at this time, but talk me through it, Michelle. This moment as a jockey, what goes through the mind?
Well, you're just trying to stay focused. You try not to let the occasion get to you, but it does, because obviously the day of days, the race that we all train for. So you just try to make sure you maintain that and stay in the zone and get out there and treat it as another race, and hopefully you win it.
You've had a great meet so far, James. Firstly, congratulations. It's been brilliant to see you Derby Day with the 2 Group 1s into this now. You know what it takes to win on a stage like this. You had 10,000 here during COVID times. We're almost going to be hitting 100,000. This is something this afternoon.
Yeah, that wasn't fair, was it? It took it away from us, but no, it was a special day. It's a race that's changed your life, and for the better. It opens so many doors, but it's such a prized race to win, prized race to get a ride, and it's so hard, and it's proven this year as well.
Zardozi, of course, you know all about this great horse, won the Oaks here today on the biggest of stages.
Yeah, for sure. Classy horse, and she's special, and I'd love to see it for James, the Cummings dynasty as well. Obviously, he's primed this mare to perfection. He's looking really good, and I think she can win. I think a turn-of-foot horse will win the race.
Michelle, it must please you so much to see these female jockeys coming out here today, considering you being the first and the only to win a Melbourne Cup as it stands right now. Today, Winona Costin, she comes in as just the 11th woman to saddle up. But the great thing is Rachel King, Jamie Carr, the first women to clock 4 cups, and the legacy only grows that you set on Prince of Penzance.
So good to see, James. Obviously, I was only the 4th ever female in 150 years, and now we've got 4 in one race. So it just goes to show how times are changing, and we're so proud. We've got great representation out there today, 4 of the best, and they've got a sneaky hope. Obviously, they're down in the weights, they're long odds, but yeah, they're not without a chance, I don't think. So hopefully one of them can get home.
All right, Francesca Comani, right where she loves to be. That's the mounting yard. And Cheska, right throughout Derby Day today, you've been able to soak it up in that very spot. Steps up a notch now, though.
Yeah, James, I've come out here, and before the horses have come into the mounting yard, I thought I'd come and chat to everybody here, and I've been getting everyone's tips. I've had some Kovalikas, I've had some Just Fines, I've had some number 7s, because that's my birthday. We've got an English contingent over here. They're in the Vauban and the Absurd camp. But it's pretty amazing when you look at all the scene around the mounting yard here. You've got people like 15, 20 deep coming to have a look at the horses and really soak up the atmosphere. And then have a look up there, all the way up into the hill stand. Standing room only, the grandstand there, the new club stand, all the way up to the top balcony. Everybody wants a piece of the action. They can't wait for the horses to come in, and nor can I.
You're not the only one there too. Francesca, back to you shortly in the yard as we have a look at the field, the 23 horse race field for today. Of course, the late scratching yesterday of Athabaskan. Zach Lloyd was in the saddle there for the John O'Shea and Tom Charlton stables, but this is how we see it coming just moments away. A lot of attention on Vauban, of course, on the back of last year, and it's getting a lot of attention with Buckaroo, Michelle.
Yeah, they just look the class runners. They obviously stay well and hard to look past them.
Most certainly is. The rest of the field in front of us there. Anything that catches your eye, James, before we have a look at how the horses look in the yard?
No, I think you're right there. Buckaroo, Vauban, I think the classy runner of Zardozi, with 51 kilos, she's in the race. She's going to get a really economical trip in transit, and she's the horse I was talking about with a turn of foot. I think she can come out and go bang.
A great shot here. The horses starting to come up to the yard. What about making sure that they're protected? There's a lot of noise, a lot of excitement here. It's a lot for a horse, not only a jockey to take in, Michelle.
It is, and they're phenomenal, really, what they put up with. All of these horses are class animals, so they tend to handle it really well. You really see their class come out on a day like today and their quality. So it's amazing what they accept, and what just an atmosphere it is out here.
Look at that aerial shot, James. You can see why we get so pumped about days like this, can't you?
That's gold, isn't it? But you see a lot of those horses wearing red earmuffs, so just to keep them calm, conserve energy, because it's a drooling trip from 3,200 metres. You need them quiet.
Well, the time has come on. Look at that day. It is absolutely beautiful here at Fleming today. Really warm and set to get even warmer as the afternoon goes on. Expected top of 27. Let's head to the yard to look at our first runners today. It is one of the fancies in Vauban. Cheska, over to you.
Yes, and James, you mentioned the weather. The thing that happened with this horse last year when he ran in the Cup is it was a really hot day. They hadn't clipped him, and he got too hot, essentially. He overheated. A few other things that the team claimed that they got wrong last year, they've tweaked things this year, and he looks really well to me. He's actually wanting to have a little bit of a buck and the kick in the mounting yard. He's feeling so well.
So there we have Grace's top pick there as well, Vauban on show. And we move on to the second of the horses today, J-Mac. When you look at the jockey, the trainer, and the form, I can see why you like it.
Yeah, grand final day, Buckaroo will be primed. He's a weight for age performer. He's been running against the best. His Caulfield Cup form's outstanding, and he was the run of the race. He's definitely the main horse. He's got a turn of foot, and he'll be hard to beat here.
Gee, I think he should have won that Caulfield Cup easily. Obviously, the VS Sistina form is outstanding, given that girl goes to a Cox Plate and breaks Winx's track record by some 10 legs. It's world-class form.
Grace, Circle of Fire, Sydney Cup winner this year over the 3,200.
I've had high expectations for this horse, this preparation off the back of that Sydney Cup win at this distance, as you mentioned. Early days, he was probably not meeting those expectations, but he does get the distance, and I wouldn't be surprised if he was to be in the top 7 or 8.
Francesca, Warp Speed, 13th in the Caulfield Cup. What are you expecting second up?
Well, James, is he the forgotten horse in this race? Yes, that Caulfield Cup was underwhelming. However, we know as a fact that the Japanese horses go much, much better on a firmer ground. And the extra trip he gets today, they say at Werribee he's been super uncomplicated, and I can't knock him in the yard.
Kovalika, the second of the 5. Yes, that's right, 5 Chris Waller runners here, J-Mac. What do you know?
Well, he's a very interesting runner, and they actually tinkered with blinkers on for this race, but they elected to take them off just to keep him a bit sharper and a bit quieter. He's obviously got to run the trip. He's not bred to, but his form's really good coming over a sharp run Cox Plate, and he definitely can win with an economical trip.
Well, James, speaking of sharp and smart, and we're hoping to be both today for Graham and Deborah Rogerson.
Yeah, he's a beautiful horse. He was placed here in a VRC derby, so he definitely can run the trip. He needs to improve a little bit off his recent form, but he definitely can. He's tripping on.
All right, let's head to the yard. Michelle, Just Fine.
Yeah, I'm here with Just Fine. He's parading beautifully. Back to Flemington, where he performed best at his last start, 2 starts ago. Hopefully he's in it for a long way.
Third in the Caulfield Cup, James, Land Legend.
Yeah, he's a good horse. He just needs to relax a bit more. He gave Zach Pertner a torrid time in the Caulfield Cup, but his run was outstanding. If he can relax, he'll run the trip.
And the earmuffs going on is a key gear change in making sure that he will hopefully be relaxed for the big one today.
7th last year, Francesca, Absurd. What are you observing out there in the mountain yard?
Yeah, he really loomed as if he was going to win the race last year, didn't he? Just petered out on his run. His form back in England has been good. He does need to see out the 2 miles strongly. I think he looks really well here. In the meantime, he's been to Cheltenham and he's won over hurdles there. He is a well-experienced horse, and he settles a bit better, and he's got Karen McAvoy in the saddle. Lots of positives.
All right, let's head to the 11. Knight's Choice, Gator.
He was an honest effort last time in the Bendigo Cup. He's got to make up a fair bit of ground on Sea King, though. He's entitled to be a price.
Okita's Sushi Grace. Jamie Carr gets the ride of the Moonee Valley Cup winner.
I think this horse has got a really good chance. He's absolutely flying at the moment. Last start winner. He's in great form, and to me, he's the map horse in the race. Can probably settle in the first 4.
Francesca, the Geelong Cup winner, One Smooth Operator.
Well, here he is, and he has made it to the start line despite a few scares in the last week coming up to the race. A runaway winner of the Geelong Cup. He, like all the other internationals, has had a clip, so he's had his winter coat shaved off, and what a lovely shine he's got under there, and he's got Craig Williams in the saddle. Big bonus.
Zardozi, 5th in the Group 1 Empire Rose on Saturday. James Cummings here today, emulating the tactics of his grandfather Bart James with a run today in the Cup.
There she is. I reckon this is the winner. I think she'll get the trip easily. She's had a beautiful preparation. James has timed it to absolute perfection. Her run on Saturday was perfect.
James McDonald, the champion jockey, loves what he sees from Zardozi. As we look ahead, Francesca, to Sea King.
Yes, Sea King for Harry Eustace. He didn't even have the horse in his stable a matter of weeks ago. He's come out here, he's won the Bendigo Cup, got his way into the race. We've got Jerome here and Laura on the other side, proudly leading up their Melbourne Cup runner. Drawn in 1. What's Holly Doyle going to do? He's got the blinkers on. He can be quite keen.
Gator, Valiant King, Chris Waller Train and Craig Hewitt, his 12th Cup.
Had a fair task back and wide against the pattern in the Caulfield Cup and a wet track. Drier here up in trip. Good roughie, perhaps.
The 17, Fancy Man. A bit of chatter here today about the horse trained by Annabelle Neesham and Rob Archibald.
Yeah, he's won at longer odds here. My query is from that wide barrier they press forward, he may have to do some work.
All right, let's head to the yard. Michelle, interpretation, 6th last year.
Yeah, he looks really well, and I just actually ran into Kieran Maher, his trainer, and he's picked him the best of his, so I think he's in with a really good chance.
All right, James, you're back in here. Manzois, last of the 5 Waller runners here today, winless since the 2022 Victoria Derby right here at Flemington.
Yeah, I think that's a bit of a problem too because he hasn't won for a while, but he's in the race, he'll stay, and he's trained by a champion trainer.
Mostly cloudy. Gator has enjoyed this distance before and loves the track.
Yeah, good Flemington horse. Gets back onto dry ground and one for trifectas at a huge price.
Positivity, as we mentioned before, Grace, has Winona Costin there for her first ride and the 11th woman to do so in a cup.
Good luck to Winona. This horse, this mare, was in great form earlier on in the campaign, but has sort of petered out towards the latter end, and I am unsure about this mare at the 3,200 metres.
Francesca, the Kieran Maher trained St George.
St George was a decent stayer back home. Since he's been here, I'm not sure we've seen quite the best of him. He was 5th in the Moonee Valley Cup last time. He looks fine to me in the mounting yard, no knocks.
The map, Grace, hasn't been backed off it.
No, it hasn't been backed off the map. I like what you did there. Won her way into this race through the Andrew Ramsden earlier in the year. It'd be a great story, but definitely wanted at bigger odds.
Gator, trust in you of a couple of decent showings at Ramwick.
Yeah, good late sectionals behind Land Legend in a Metrop 2 runs ago, and Land Legend's one of the favourites, so perhaps not hopeless.
Francesca, you've seen them all now, the 23 runners for the Lexus Melbourne Cup, your pick of the yard.
Well, James, what I wanted to see is that the horse that I had selected on paper ticks all the boxes in the mounting yard. And yes, he is starting to get a little bit warm, but then so am I. So I'm going to stick with number 1, Vauban.
All right, likes one of the faves here today. Francesca out there. Let's check in with what the punters are doing. Tab market update, Jared.
Well, it looks like Buckaroo is going to jump favourite for the Melbourne Cup this year, and could it be the first favourite to win the race in 11 years? It was joined for favouritism, though, by one smooth operator, the Geelong Cup winner, which has been very heavily backed since the barrier draw as well, $8.50 into $7. Vauban's just got out of touch, $6.50 out to $8. I just saw a bet of $6.5 grand at $15 to win $91,000 on Land Legend. Circle of Fire yesterday, $41, now $21. What are you really gambling with? For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website. So it is Vauban for Grace and Buckaroo, the favourite for Gator.
Jared, thank you. Let's head out onto the track. Billy.
Oh, what an atmosphere out here, James, and you're entitled to have some sort of nerves, but these jockeys, this is where they're most comfortable, up on the back of the horses, and it's important because horses are incredible animals. They can feel the fly land on their back, so the energy of the jockey is super important. They'll feel the doubt, they'll feel the composure, but they'll feel that confidence, and that's why only the best jockeys win this race.
You reckon that man on screen's in his element, loves a crowd and a big occasion. Billy Slater, he'll be talking to our winner of the Lexus Melbourne Cup in moments. Now we're going to take you inside some rare scenes here. Craig Williams, of course, will be aboard very soon. One smooth operator here for the Lexus Melbourne Cup. Take a little listen.
The job is to get him out of the gates, to be where he's comfortable, to find a couple of horses. You might find you back on Vauban. You might also found him back on... You've got William Buick, you've got Kieran McAvoy. Yep. We're going to get a couple of nice targets. Even Joe might go forward on the favourite. And all of a sudden... And that's what we have to do. Once we rest, get into a good rhythm with him, the way he was at Geelong, we know what type of horse he's got, and he's only going to be happier over a longer trip. So it's about having to get the first 3 quarters of the race nice, comfortable and smooth for him, and be in the right position and hopefully be on the back of the right horse that does that work for us. If it does that work for us, then we'll have something to produce once we get into the straight.
Brilliant access, isn't it? Craig Williams going through the pre-race tactics for one smooth operator, and we are ready. Are you at home? The jockeys and their horses heading out onto the track. All 23 runners ready to go for the Lexus Melbourne Cup, and it's next live from Flemington.